If you want to know how to replace your spark plugs on your V8 5.3 liter GM engine, you just come to the right place. Make sure you stick until the end of this video because I'm gonna be sharing with you a lot of details that you must know in order to do this job the right way. I'm even gonna be showing you how to remove the spark plug number 8, the one that nobody wants to deal with. We're gonna be seeing that on this video. It's gonna make your day. If you don't have that fancy tool to pull this boot out, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get a zip tie, wrap it around, and then pull it. Now pay attention to this: ignition coil, cable, and the boot. The boot I'm marking it in green. That's the one where you wanna pull. Never pull from the cable. If you pull from the cable, you're gonna damage that cable and you are gonna have to replace it. So again, if you don't have that fancy tool, you can pull the same way I'm doing it right here, but never pull from the cable. Keep that in mind. Always pull from the metal boot. Alright, this is the zip tie around that boot. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull it from here using any pliers that you have. You can try to pull it by hand, but I'm just gonna use this. There you go. See? Beautiful. Then you just go ahead and cut it. That's it. Now for removing the spark plug, we are gonna be using a 5/8 or 16mm long socket. If you go to any mechanic shop to do this job, they will be charging you a lot. Therefore, you will be saving some money by doing this yourself. At this moment, we are working on the driver's side of this GM engine. This is the easy side. In just a moment, we're gonna be doing the other side, and we are gonna be tackling that number 8 spark plug. Everybody's scared of that one, but you will see how easily it is done. I mean, it's gonna give you a little fight, but it is totally doable. It is recommended that you use Dielectric Grease on the spark plug. And also you might be wondering, what is the gap for the spark plug? What is the torque that the spark plug needs? Well, we are going to be talking about that in just a moment once we get to the other side of the engine. If you don't have a torque wrench, that's not a big deal. I'm gonna be doing the other side without a torque wrench so you can see that it is totally doable. Now when reinstalling the cable, you want to make sure that the boot is aligned with the spark plug. Then you're gonna push in and you're gonna make sure that it is firmly on the spark plug, and then we're gonna go ahead and reconnect the cable to the ignition coil. The spark plug number 8, this is the spark plug of the terror. No one wants to do it, but it's not that complicated. And right here we got the ignition coil, the cable, and the boot that is over the spark plug. This plug is the one on the passenger side next to the firewall. The position is a bit intimidating, but you will see how simple it can be with the right attitude. Yes, there is a tool for removing the spark plug boot, but since I don't have it, and probably you don't, this is what I'm gonna be doing. And I'm gonna get this zip tie, I'm gonna wrap it around the boot, and then I'm gonna pull. It is extremely important that you do not pull from the cable. If you pull from the cable, you're gonna damage that cable and you're gonna have to replace it. Always pull from the boot itself. That piece of metal, that's the one that you're gonna grab on and pull. If you have ever done this type of job before, let me know in the comments how it went for you. The space is really tight, yes, I get it, but if you have some patience, you will be more than able to do it. This is like the final boss of a spark plug replacement, but we are not rage quitting today. This entire process, you don't want to rush it. Take your time. It's not a race, it's a relationship, a very complicated, stubborn relationship. Now that we got that boot out of the way, it's time for the spark plug itself. Right here, this is plug number 8, the troublemaker, the one that likes to hide and make your day a little bit harder. Now I'm gonna be using a 16mm to remove that spark plug. Now basically this is all you're gonna need. It's a ratchet with a short extension and a 16mm socket. If you ever tried filming inside an engine bay, you know the struggle is real. Smash that like button just for the camera gymnastics. If your engine is too dirty, before removing the spark plug, blow out the area around it with compressed air to avoid dropping dirt into the cylinder. If you're getting some value from this video, please don't forget to subscribe so more people can see it. Now that the spark plug is loose, I'm removing it out of the head just with the 16mm socket. In my channel, I have another video on this very same engine showing how to replace the spark plugs, and all of you asked for this specific spark plug, the number 8, and here it is, guys. Hope this helps, and please show some appreciation, like and subscribe. Getting these camera angles while doing this job was harder than being rejected by the ugly gal in the party. Take a look at this spark plug. Was not that bad, but it was about time to replace it. If the spark plug that you're using is pre-gapped from the factory and you go ahead and change it, then you may have some issues. So that's why you don't want to change the gap on the spark plug that is pre-gapped from the factory. In my case, this one is already pre-gapped, so I don't have to worry about that. Even if the gap on this spark plug is a bit different than the one that is recommended for this engine, still you don't want to change it, because this spark plug is already gapped to the optimum specifications. So don't change it if it is pre-gapped. If your spark plug, the ones that you are getting, is a different brand and is not pre-gapped, then you want to go ahead and do it. I'm going to be leaving in the comments what number would be recommended for this engine, and the way that you do the gap is something like this. So basically you're going to get your spark plug, and then you want to get one of these. You can get this very cheap at any auto parts store, and then you want to put it inside in here and move it until the desired gap. If it's not going all the way to the number that you are aiming to, then you can wiggle it a little bit and it will open this gap, so that way you can keep moving forward to the gap that you want it to be. Now if for some reason you overdo the gapping and now it's too much, what you can do is you can press on it a little bit, or you can tap. You can give it some taps that will close the gap a little bit, so that way you can go ahead and rectify and just leave it the way you want it to be. But again, you are only going to do the gap if the spark plug that you are getting is not pre-gapped from the factory. If it is, like mine is, don't do it, don't touch it.
Hold on a second. Even with the pre-gap spark plug, it's always a smart idea to double check with a gap gauge, because gaps can change slightly during shipping. Now let's continue.
Okay, so right now I'm gonna hand thread this spark plug. Okay, so I got it like this, and I'm gonna hand thread it.
Let me know in the comment if you ever have to wrestle with cylinder number 8. It's always the spicy one.
And right now, to tighten that spark plug, I'm gonna be using this torque wrench. Be careful when tighten the spark plug. You don't want to damage the thread, because believe me, if you damage the thread, that's a nightmare and you're gonna be crying for a little bit.
Installing this plug is like tucking in a baby, soft, gentle, and not over tightened, or you will regret it. I was planning to use a torque wrench here, but as you can see, the space is pretty tight, not much room to work with, so instead I'm going with a regular wrench. Now how do I know how much pressure to apply? Well, I have done this a few times, so I have a good feel for it, and you can do the same. If you don't have a torque wrench, just make sure to snug it down firmly, but don't over tighten it. You want it tight, but not to the point of stripping threads. Use common sense and you'll be fine.
Now if you don't have a torque wrench, as you can see, I just did it with this one. Just make sure you give it a snug fit, and that's it.
Now if you haven't done so, don't forget to remove the zip tie. It was helpful, but it's time to go. Now we are installing the ignition coil boot back onto the spark plug. Just make sure it is properly aligned with the plug. Take a second to visually line it up straight, and then give it a nice firm push until you feel that it sits into place. You want to make sure it's fully connected to avoid misfire or poor engine performance later on.
And as you can see, the spark plug number 8 is already done. Okay, so we already got the number 8 done, and now the process will be the same for all of the other spark plug on this side and on the other side. I am not gonna be doing all of them because it will be repetitive, and I'm pretty sure you don't like that. You're not gonna wash it anyway because it is exactly the same, with the only difference that is gonna be a lot easier. Believe me, a lot easier. That one is the spark plug number 8, the spark plug of the terror. Nobody wants to do that one, and I already show you how to do it. Now if the space is too tight, what you can do is go ahead and remove these hoses. Just move them a little bit, so that way you have more room. It's not that much, but it can help a little bit.